What shapes an individual's identity? Our identities are formed by a collection of our experiences, stories, different upbringings, interests, and the people we surround ourselves with. In the autobiographical film Persepolis, Marjane Satrapi discusses how her experiences living in two Irans, one with a monarchy and one without. Throughout the film, she changes her perspective on patriotism in her country, loses some of the values and gains some of them back. She rebels against the corrupt government in any way she can because it's people who inspire her to do so.
Le nouveau gouvernement a été instauré, nous n'avons plus de prisonniers politiques.
Comment osez-vous nous mentir comme ça?
Écoute, je n'aime pas te faire la morale, mais je vais te donner un conseil qui te servira à jamais. Dans la vie, tu rencontreras beaucoup de cons. S'ils te blessent, dis-toi que c'est la bêtise qui les pousse à te faire du mal. Ça t'évitera de répondre à leur méchanceté, car il n'y a rien de pire au monde que l'amertume et la vengeance. Reste toujours digne et intègre à toi-même.
Marjane in Persepolis struggles to discover what it means to be Iranian when she spent her childhood there and her teenage adolescence in Austria, influenced by the culture there. Culture and language are key aspects of your identity, and once you lose them, it is very difficult to regain them in the same way. In a similar vein, part of one's identity is their ancestors' stories. Marjane is influenced by her grandmother, her uncle, and her parents. However, we discover more about ourselves when we form our own views and have our own experiences. Growing up, I heard stories of the collapse of Yugoslavia, how my parents took part in political activism, and how both of them were pacifists. Coming to Canada, I also learned about how others viewed my country and how dangerous blind patriotism can really be. As I grow older, my personal beliefs differ from my parents, and so my identity continues to change.
Jamais qui tu es et d'où tu viens.
T'as vu une révolution et une guerre.
Ah ouais?
Wow.
Prospective immigrants, please note. Either you will go through this door or you will not go through. If you go through, there is always the risk of remembering your name. Things look at you doubly and you must look back and let them happen. If you do not go through, it is possible to live worthily, to maintain your attitudes, to hold your position, to die bravely. But much will blind you, much will evade you. At what cost, who knows? The door itself makes no promises. It is only a door. The last stanza of this poem, "The door itself makes no promises, it is just a door," entails that despite the lure of the American dream, being an immigrant in a foreign land is what you make it. The poem also explains that it is impossible not to lose some of your traditions and values you've grown up with once you immigrate to a new country.
Alors comme ça, tu es française?
Mamie, arrête.
Non, c'était juste une question. Je savais pas que t'étais française, c'est tout.
Si tu crois que c'est facile d'être iranienne ici, dès que je dis d'où je viens, on me regarde comme si j'étais une sauvage. Pour eux, nous sommes tous des cinglés fanatiques qui passent leur temps à hurler en se tapant dessus.
Tu penses que c'est une raison pour renier tes origines? Tu te rappelles de ce que je t'avais dit? Reste intègre à toi-même.
Our personal beliefs are a core aspect of our identity, our ability to tell right from wrong, and our ethics and our morals. In the dystopian novel 1984 by George Orwell, the protagonist Winston is defined by his radical thoughts. When the spark that is contained inside him fizzles out when he is tortured by the party, he loses a core part of himself, and therefore a core part of his identity.
My agents forged documents and gained entry to the Ministry of Truth.
Thought crime is death.
Winston is similar to Marjane in the sense that he remembers a time when the nation wasn't quite like this. Therefore, he uses his memories as a foundation to hold up his beliefs. The book and film Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Shopsky discusses how the environment of a high school and different friend groups also help shape someone's identity. The protagonist, Charlie, feels alone when he enters high school before he's adopted by two older kids, Patrick and Sam. They inspire him to open up and share his stories and quickly become his best friends. In Shauna Houston's music video, Twinkle Lightly, the lines between past, present, joy, and sadness are blurred together during a girl's idyllic last night with her best friends, as she attempts to cope with their lives moving in different directions post-graduation. One's identity changes as experiences begin and end. When certain periods of life end, one's personality and identity develop into something else.
So twinkle lightly, please twinkle lightly.
I relate to both of these texts a lot because when I entered Burn Creek, I knew absolutely no one before I entered the theater program. After I got involved in school plays, I found my place and my people. These people soon became my best friends, and their friends became my friends, and so on.
Congratulations to our cast for completing a first show!
In a lot of ways, you are who you hang out with. My friends' values and quirks have rubbed off on me, and probably vice versa. We are a mixture of different opinions and thoughts that will inevitably change as we continue to grow as adolescents.
You see things, and you understand. You're a wallflower.
I didn't think anyone noticed me.
Often different art forms can help us find ourselves a place we belong. Different music genres, fashion sense, or political movements, for example. In Charlie's case, in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, he bonds with Patrick and Sam through the love of alternative music and being radically different from the rest of their high school peers.
We are infinite.
So in conclusion, our identities change over time, and periods of our life begin and end. They are composed of our values, traditions, and beliefs, and our identities fit into our cultures and communities, and there's always a place for them. They are influenced by our family members and our friends, and sometimes, if we're not careful, we can form our entire identities around them. Our stories and our experiences channel into our identities, and that is how we are remembered.
Please twinkle lightly. Won't you twinkle lightly?